Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have you ever wondered why, despite time and distance, one person continues to live quietly in your heart? You tried to move on. You tried to convince yourself that the story had ended. Yet their memory returns in the most unexpected moments, as if your heart is holding on to something your mind cannot explain. What if this connection is not a coincidence, but part of a destiny written by Allah? What if, somewhere in the stillness of the night, someone is raising their hands in sincere dua, whispering your name, and asking Allah to reunite your hearts in a way that is pure, blessed, and lasting? Sometimes Allah writes a love long before the right moment arrives, nurturing it through patience, shaping it through distance, and perfecting it with His divine timing. Stay with me as we explore the beautiful possibility that someone is secretly hoping Allah brings you together. Allah places certain souls in your heart for a divine purpose. Not every connection in life is a coincidence. Sometimes a person enters your life and leaves a mark on your heart that time cannot erase. Even when distance separates you and silence replaces conversation, their memory continues to live within you. This is not always a sign of weakness or attachment. Rather, it can be a gentle indication that Allah has placed this person in your heart for a meaningful and divine reason. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows the journey of every soul. He understands what we need to grow, to heal, and to come closer to Him. When someone remains in your heart, despite your efforts to move on, it may be because their presence is part of a greater plan designed by Allah. These feelings are not meant to create confusion or pain. Instead, they often serve as a means of spiritual growth, teaching you patience, sincerity, and trust in His perfect timing. Sometimes, Allah uses certain people to awaken something beautiful within us. Through them, we may learn the true meaning of love, compassion, forgiveness, or even self-discovery. They might inspire us to become better individuals, strengthen our connection with Allah, or guide us toward a path we never imagined for ourselves. Even if their role in our lives is temporary, the lessons they leave behind are lasting and transformative. It is also possible that this connection is part of a destiny that has not yet fully unfolded. Allah may place love in the hearts of two people long before the right moment for their union arrives. During this time, both individuals are shaped and prepared, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, so that if they are meant to be together, their relationship will be built on a strong and blessed foundation. At the same time, it is important to remember that the presence of someone in your heart does not always guarantee that they are meant to stay in your life forever. Sometimes, Allah places a person in your journey, not as a final destination, but as a stepping stone towards something greater. Whether the connection leads to reunion or simply to personal growth, it always carries wisdom and mercy. Therefore, instead of feeling confused or overwhelmed by such emotions, find comfort in knowing that Allah is the one who placed them in your heart. Trust that He understands what you cannot see, and that His plan is always filled with goodness, even when it is not immediately clear. When you surrender your feelings to Him and place your trust in His wisdom, your heart begins to find peace. Every soul that touches your heart does so with purpose. Whether they remain in your life or not, their presence is never meaningless. Allah plants certain souls in our lives to shape our journey, refine our character, and guide us toward the destiny that has been perfectly written for us. Trust in His plan, for He is the best of planners, and everything He decrees carries wisdom, mercy, and love. A hidden dua for you may be quietly shaping your destiny. There is a beautiful and comforting reality that many people overlook. The power of a dua made for you in secrecy. Somewhere in the quiet moments of the night, someone may be raising their hands to Allah and mentioning your name with sincerity. They may be asking Allah to guide you, protect you, and, if it is best, to bring your hearts together in a way that is pure and blessed. You may never hear these prayers, yet they can be quietly shaping your destiny. In Islam, dua is not just a simple request. It is a direct conversation with Allah, the one who controls every heart and every outcome. When someone makes dua for another person in their absence, it carries a special significance. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that when a believer prays for their brother or sister in secret, an angel responds by saying, "Ameen," and for you the same. This means that such prayers are not only accepted, but also return blessings to the one who makes them, creating a beautiful cycle of mercy and goodness. A hidden dua is powerful because it is free from pride, expectation, or the desire for recognition. It is made purely for the sake of Allah, filled with sincerity and hope. These silent prayers rise to the heavens and are answered in ways that we may not immediately recognize. Sometimes they bring hearts closer together. At other times, they open doors of guidance, healing, and peace. Even delays in their fulfillment are part of Allah's perfect wisdom, ensuring that everything unfolds at the most suitable moment. You may wonder why you continue to feel connected to someone despite the passage of time. It is possible that their sincere prayers are keeping that connection alive. Allah, in His mercy, may be nurturing both of your journeys separately, preparing you for a reunion that will occur only when it is truly beneficial for your faith and well-being. During this period, both hearts are refined, strengthened, and guided toward what is best. However, it is also important to understand that the acceptance of a dua does not always mean that the exact outcome requested will occur. Allah answers every sincere prayer in one of three ways. He may grant what is asked, delay it for a better time, or replace it with something far greater. Therefore, even if two people are not ultimately united, the hidden dua is never wasted. It always brings blessings, protection, and goodness into their lives. Reflecting on this reality fills the heart with comfort and hope. The idea that someone is praying for you without your knowledge is a reminder of Allah's immense mercy and care. It reassures you that your life is not governed by chance but by divine wisdom. Every sincere dua becomes part of a greater plan, guiding events in ways that only Allah fully understands. If you believe that someone may be making dua for you, respond in the most beautiful way, by making dua for them as well. Ask Allah to grant what is best for both of you, to unite your hearts if it brings you closer to Him, and to replace it with something better if it does not. This mutual sincerity transforms the connection into a source of spiritual elevation and barakah. A hidden dua is one of the most profound expressions of love and care. It is silent, selfless, and deeply sincere. Whether it leads to reunion or simply to personal growth and peace, it is always a sign that Allah is working behind the scenes, shaping your destiny with wisdom, mercy, and perfect timing. Trust in His plan, for every sincere prayer is heard, valued, and answered in the most beautiful way. Separation is often Allah's way of preparing two hearts. Separation is one of the most painful experiences a person can go through. When two hearts that once felt close are distanced by circumstances, silence, or time, it can leave behind confusion, longing, and unanswered questions. It is natural to wonder why something that felt so meaningful had to be interrupted. Yet, in many cases, this separation is not a sign of an ending, but rather a gentle and purposeful step in Allah's greater plan. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows when two people are truly ready to be united. Sometimes, love appears before the hearts are fully prepared to carry its responsibilities. In such moments, Allah may create distance between them, not to break the bond, but to nurture it in a way that leads to growth, maturity, and spiritual alignment. This period of separation allows each individual to reflect, heal, and become the person they are meant to be. During this time apart, both hearts often undergo profound transformation. Personal weaknesses are addressed, emotional wounds begin to heal, and faith is strengthened. A person may grow closer to Allah through patience and sincere supplication, learning to rely on Him rather than solely on another human being. This spiritual refinement ensures that if the two are eventually reunited, their relationship will be built on a strong foundation of faith, understanding, and mutual respect. Separation also purifies intentions. When distance exists, it becomes clear whether the connection was based on temporary emotions or sincere and lasting commitment. If the feelings remain despite the absence, it can be a sign that the bond holds deeper meaning. This clarity helps transform love into something more meaningful, rooted in sincerity and guided by the desire to please Allah. Moreover, Allah uses separation to teach the virtue of patience, or Sabr. Patience is not merely waiting, it is trusting that Allah's timing is always perfect, even when it is difficult to understand. Through this waiting, the heart learns humility and develops a deeper sense of reliance on Allah. This spiritual growth often becomes the very reason why a future reunion, if it is destined, is filled with greater peace and stability. It is also important to remember that separation does not always lead to reunion, and this too is part of Allah's mercy. Sometimes, the purpose of the connection is not to last forever, but to teach valuable lessons that prepare us for something better. Whether the story ends in reunion or redirection, the wisdom behind it is always rooted in Allah's knowledge of what is best for our faith and well-being. When viewed through the lens of faith, separation transforms from a source of pain into a sign of divine care. It reassures the heart that nothing in life happens without purpose. If two people are meant to be together, no distance can prevent their paths from crossing again. And if they are not, Allah will replace that connection with something far more suitable and beneficial. Therefore, instead of allowing separation to fill your heart with despair, let it become a moment of reflection and trust. Embrace this period as an opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. Place your reliance on Allah, knowing that He is preparing your heart for what is truly meant for you. Separation is not always a farewell. Sometimes, it is simply a pause in a story that Allah is still writing. It is His way of preparing two hearts, either to reunite in a more beautiful and blessed manner, or to guide them towards separate paths that hold even greater al-khair and peace. Trust in His wisdom, for every distance He creates carries within it a hidden mercy and a promise of something better. What Allah has written for you can never be prevented. One of the most comforting truths in Islam is the belief that everything in our lives is written by Allah long before it comes into existence. This divine decree, known as Qadr, reminds us that nothing happens by accident, and nothing meant for us can ever be taken away. When Allah has written something for you, whether it is a person, an opportunity, or a moment of happiness, no force in this world can prevent it from reaching you. There are times in life when circumstances seem to move against our hopes. Misunderstandings arise, distances grow, and doors appear to close without explanation. In such moments, the heart may feel anxious and uncertain, wondering if what it longs for has been lost forever. Yet faith teaches us that what is truly meant for us is never lost. Even when the path seems unclear, Allah is quietly arranging events in ways beyond our understanding, guiding everything toward its destined outcome. This belief brings immense peace to the heart. Instead of living in fear of losing what we cherish, we learn to trust that Allah's plan is always perfect. If a person is written to be part of your life, no obstacle, no matter how great, can stop that union from taking place. Time, distance, or the opinions of others cannot change what Allah has already decreed. When the moment arrives, Allah opens doors that no one could have imagined, and what once seemed impossible becomes a beautiful reality. At the same time, this understanding also teaches us acceptance. Sometimes, we hold on to the hope of a specific outcome, believing it to be the best for us. However, if something does not come to pass, it is not because it was taken away from us. Rather, it is because it was never written for us in the first place. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows what will bring us true peace and what may lead to harm. Therefore, every delay, redirection, or closed door is a sign of His mercy and protection. Belief in Allah's decree does not mean remaining passive. Instead, it encourages us to strive for what is good while placing our trust in Him. We make sincere dua, take halal steps, and maintain pure intentions, all while understanding that the final outcome rests in Allah's hands. This balance between effort and trust, known as tawakul, allows the heart to remain hopeful without becoming overwhelmed by fear or disappointment. Reflecting on this reality transforms the way we view relationships and life's uncertainties. Rather than chasing what is not meant for us, we learn to find peace in surrendering to Allah's wisdom. If someone is truly written for you, their presence in your life will unfold naturally and beautifully at the right time. And if they are not, Allah will replace that longing with something far greater, something that aligns perfectly with your faith, happiness, and well-being. This belief also frees the heart from regret. We often look back on past situations and wonder what might have been if circumstances had been different. However, understanding that everything unfolds according to Allah's decree reassures us that nothing was missed. What was meant for us has already reached us, and what did not was never destined to be ours. This realization brings a deep sense of contentment and gratitude. In moments of uncertainty, remind yourself of this powerful truth. What Allah has written for you is already on its way, even if you cannot see it yet. Trust in His timing, for it is always precise and filled with wisdom. When the destined moment arrives, it will come with a sense of peace and clarity that confirms it was always meant to be. The heart finds true serenity in surrendering to Allah's perfect plan. What He has written for you will never be prevented, never be delayed beyond its appointed time, and never be replaced except with something better. Hold firmly to this belief, for it transforms anxiety into peace, uncertainty into trust, and longing into hopeful patience. Indeed, Allah is the best of planners, and His decree is always filled with mercy, wisdom, and love. Pure intentions. Transform love into an act of worship. Love is one of the most beautiful gifts that Allah has placed within the human heart. It has the power to soften souls, inspire kindness, and bring two people together in a way that nurtures compassion and understanding. However, in Islam, love is not valued only for the emotions it creates. Its true beauty is revealed when it is guided by pure intentions. When love is rooted in sincerity and directed toward pleasing Allah, it rises above worldly desires and becomes a noble act of worship. The concept of Nikah, or intention, holds a central place in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that every action is judged according to its intention. This means that when a person loves someone with the sincere desire to build a halal and blessed relationship, seeking marriage, stability, and a shared journey toward Allah, that love carries immense spiritual value. It is no longer driven by fleeting emotions or personal gain, but becomes a means of earning Allah's pleasure and reward. When intentions are pure, love is expressed with dignity, respect, and responsibility. It encourages patience and self-restraint, guiding individuals to protect each other's honor and to avoid actions that may displease Allah. Instead of rushing into what is forbidden, a person with sincere intentions waits for the right moment, trusting that Allah will open the doors in the most beautiful way. This patience is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it reflects deep faith and reliance on Allah's perfect timing. Pure intentions also invite barakah, or divine blessings, into the relationship. A love that begins with remembrance of Allah and is nurtured through sincere dua is strengthened by His mercy. Such a connection brings tranquility to the heart because it is built on faith rather than fear of loss. Even during periods of uncertainty or separation, the belief that the relationship is guided by Allah provides comfort and hope. Moreover, when two people share sincere intentions, their love becomes a source of spiritual growth. They inspire one another to become better individuals, to strengthen their connection with Allah, and to live lives filled with righteousness and compassion. Their relationship transforms into a partnership that supports their journey toward Jannah. In this way, love is no longer merely about emotional fulfillment. It becomes a means of drawing closer to Allah and fulfilling a higher purpose. It is also important to understand that pure intentions bring clarity and protection. When a person sincerely seeks what is best in the sight of Allah, He guides their heart away from what is harmful and toward what is beneficial. If the relationship is meant to flourish, Allah facilitates its path and fills it with peace and harmony. And if it is not meant to continue, He gently redirects the heart towards something better. In both cases, the sincerity of intention ensures that the outcome is always filled with wisdom and mercy. Furthermore, loving someone for the sake of Allah creates a bond that is deeper and more enduring than love based solely on worldly attraction. This form of love is grounded in trust, respect, and a shared commitment to faith. It remains steadfast during challenges and is not easily shaken by temporary difficulties. Even the period of waiting becomes meaningful, as it is filled with hope, patience, and reliance on Allah's wisdom. Pure intentions transform love into something sacred. They elevate it from a fleeting emotion to a path of spiritual elevation and divine reward. Whether the journey leads to a blessed union or to a gentle redirection, the sincerity behind that love is never wasted. Allah, in His infinite mercy, honors every pure intention and replaces it with what is best for His servants. Therefore, if you find love in your heart, nurture it with sincerity and place it in the hands of Allah. Seek His guidance through dua, protect its purity, and trust in His wisdom. When love is guided by pure intentions, it becomes more than just a connection between two people. it becomes a beautiful act of worship that brings peace to the heart and blessings to life. Silence can be a sign of respect and trust in Allah's timing. In a world where constant communication is often seen as proof of love and care, silence can easily be misunderstood. When someone becomes quiet or distant, the heart may assume that the connection has faded or that the feelings were never genuine. This misunderstanding can create confusion and emotional pain. However, from a spiritual perspective, silence is not always a sign of absence or indifference. Sometimes it is a reflection of deep respect, sincerity, and trust in Allah's perfect timing. There are moments when a person chooses silence not because they no longer care, but because they wish to protect the purity of the relationship. Instead of allowing emotions to lead them toward actions that may not be pleasing to Allah, they step back and place their trust in Him. This form of restraint demonstrates maturity and a sincere desire to seek what is halal and blessed. It is a quiet expression of love that prioritizes dignity and faith over immediate emotional satisfaction. Silence can also be a sign of patience. When someone believes that a connection is meaningful, they may choose to wait for the right circumstances, rather than rushing into decisions driven by emotion. This patience reflects a deep sense of tawakkul, complete reliance on Allah. By remaining silent, they are acknowledging that true outcomes are not controlled by human effort alone, but by Allah's divine wisdom and timing. Such trust transforms silence into an act of devotion and faith. Moreover, silence often allows space for personal and spiritual growth. During periods of distance, individuals are given the opportunity to reflect on their intentions, strengthen their relationship with Allah, and prepare themselves for what lies ahead. This time of introspection can lead to emotional healing, greater self-awareness, and a clearer understanding of what they truly seek in a relationship. When hearts are refined in this way, any future reunion is more likely to be stable, meaningful, and blessed. It is also important to recognize that silence can stem from respect for the other person's well-being. Someone who genuinely cares may avoid unnecessary communication to prevent confusion, emotional dependency, or actions that could complicate the path toward a halal union. Rather than acting impulsively, they choose to honor the connection by allowing it to unfold in a manner that aligns with Islamic values. This thoughtful restraint reflects not weakness, but strength of character and sincerity of intention. From a spiritual standpoint, silence teaches us to listen to the whispers of the heart and to place our trust in Allah's plan. It reminds us that not every meaningful connection requires constant words to survive. Sometimes, the strongest bonds are those that remain alive, in prayers and sincere intentions rather than in frequent conversations. When a relationship is meant to flourish, Allah will open the doors at the most appropriate time, bringing clarity and peace to both hearts. Furthermore, silence can serve as a test of sincerity. It reveals whether the connection is rooted in genuine care or merely in the need for attention and reassurance. If the feelings remain steady despite the absence of communication, it may indicate a deeper and more meaningful bond. This period of quiet waiting allows both individuals to evaluate their intentions and to ensure that their hopes are aligned with what pleases Allah. However, it is equally important to approach silence with balance and understanding. While it can signify respect and trust, it should not lead to assumptions or emotional distress. Instead, it should encourage reliance on Allah and acceptance of His wisdom. Whether silence leads to reunion or redirection, it always carries a lesson designed to guide the heart toward peace and spiritual growth. Silence is not always an empty space. Sometimes it is filled with unspoken prayers, sincere intentions, and quiet trust in Allah's divine plan. It is a gentle reminder that true love does not always need to be expressed through words. When guided by faith, silence becomes a symbol of dignity, patience, and unwavering belief in Allah's perfect timing. Therefore, if you find yourself experiencing silence in a meaningful connection, do not rush to interpret it as an ending. Instead, view it as an opportunity to strengthen your trust in Allah and to nurture your own spiritual journey. If the connection is meant to continue, Allah will reunite the hearts in the most beautiful way. And if not, He will replace it with something far better, now bringing peace and contentment to your soul. Silence, when embraced with faith, transforms from a source of uncertainty into a powerful expression of respect, sincerity, and reliance on Allah. It is a quiet testament that what is meant to be will unfold at the perfect moment, guided by the wisdom and mercy of the One who knows all hearts. Allah aligns hearts spiritually before He unites them physically. In the journey of life, not every meaningful connection is meant to happen instantly. Sometimes two people feel a deep and unexplainable bond, yet their paths do not immediately come together. This delay is not without purpose. In His infinite wisdom, Allah often aligns hearts spiritually before He unites them physically, ensuring that their connection is built on faith, understanding, and sincerity, rather than on fleeting emotions alone. Spiritual alignment means that both individuals are prepared internally before they are brought together externally. Allah nurtures their hearts, strengthens their faith, and shapes their character so that when the time for their union arrives, they are ready to support one another in righteousness. This preparation may occur through personal experiences, moments of reflection, or even through trials that draw them closer to Allah. Each challenge serves to refine their intentions and deepen their reliance on Him. During this period of unseen preparation, both individuals often undergo significant personal growth. They may develop greater patience, emotional maturity, and a clearer understanding of what they truly seek in a relationship. Allah may guide them to improve their character, heal from past wounds, and strengthen their connection with acts of worship such as prayer, remembrance, and sincere supplication. This transformation ensures that their eventual union, if it is destined, will be grounded in stability and mutual respect. Spiritual alignment also involves the harmonization of values and life goals. Allah prepares both hearts to share a common vision centered on faith and righteousness. When two people are united with this shared purpose, their relationship becomes more than a source of emotional comfort. It becomes a partnership that supports their journey toward pleasing Allah and attaining eternal success. Such a bond is resilient, capable of withstanding the challenges of life, because it is rooted in a higher purpose. Another beautiful aspect of this alignment is the sense of peace that accompanies it. Even before a physical reunion occurs, individuals may feel an inner tranquility regarding the connection. This peace is a subtle sign that Allah is guiding their hearts and orchestrating events according to His perfect plan. It reassures them that what is meant to happen will unfold at the right time, without the need for force or haste. It is important to recognize that this period of preparation often involves tests. These tests are not meant to create hardship, but to strengthen faith and clarify intentions. Through patience and trust in Allah's wisdom, individuals learn to surrender their desires to His will. This surrender, known as Tawakkul, transforms waiting into an act of worship and deepens their spiritual connection with Allah. However, spiritual alignment does not always guarantee a physical union. Sometimes, the purpose of the connection is to inspire personal growth or to guide individuals closer to Allah, even if their paths eventually diverge. In such cases, the alignment itself remains a blessing, leaving a lasting impact on their faith and character. Whether the story leads to reunion or redirection, it is always shaped by Allah's mercy and wisdom. When Allah finally brings two spiritually aligned hearts together, the union carries a unique sense of harmony and blessing. It feels natural and peaceful, free from unnecessary struggle or confusion. Both individuals recognize the wisdom behind the timing and appreciate the journey that prepared them for this moment. Their relationship becomes a source of tranquility, support, and spiritual elevation. Therefore, if you feel a deep connection with someone, yet find that circumstances have not allowed your paths to unite, trust that Allah may still be preparing both of your hearts. Embrace this period as an opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. Strengthen your relationship with Allah, refine your intentions, and remain patient in the knowledge that His timing is always perfect. Allah aligns hearts spiritually before He unites them physically to ensure that their connection is meaningful, stable, and blessed. This divine preparation transforms love into a partnership rooted in faith and guided by purpose. Trust in His wisdom, for when the time is right, what is meant to be will unfold with a beauty and ease that only Allah can orchestrate. May Allah grant every sincere heart a union that brings peace, strengthens faith, and leads to everlasting happiness. Ameen. Every test purifies and strengthens a love destined by Allah in life. Every meaningful connection is accompanied by moments of difficulty. When two hearts are meant for something significant, their journey is rarely free from challenges. Distance, misunderstandings, delays, or unexpected circumstances can create emotional pain and uncertainty. Yet, from an Islamic perspective, these tests are not signs that the connection is meant to fail. Instead, they are part of Allah's divine wisdom, designed to purify intentions and strengthen a love that may be destined to flourish. Tests serve as a powerful means of refining the heart. When love is genuine and guided by sincerity, it does not fade in the face of hardship. Rather, it becomes stronger and more resilient. Through these trials, individuals learn patience, humility, and reliance on Allah. They begin to understand that true love is not merely about emotional closeness, but about enduring commitment, mutual respect, and a shared journey toward pleasing Allah. One of the greatest lessons that tests teach is the value of sabr, or patience. Patience in Islam is not passive waiting. It is an active state of trust in Allah's wisdom, while continuing to hope for what is best. When two people remain steadfast in their faith despite challenges, their connection becomes purified from selfish desires and rooted instead in sincerity and devotion. This purification ensures that if they are eventually united, their relationship will be built on a foundation that is strong, stable, and blessed. Tests also reveal the true nature of intentions. In times of ease, it is simple to express affection and commitment. However, during moments of difficulty, the sincerity of love becomes clear. If the connection endures through hardship, it indicates that the bond is not based on temporary emotions, but on deeper values and genuine care. This clarity allows both individuals to recognize the significance of the relationship and to appreciate the wisdom behind Allah's plan. Moreover, Allah uses tests to draw His servants closer to Him. When faced with emotional challenges, hearts often turn to prayer and supplication with greater sincerity. Dua becomes a source of comfort, and reliance on Allah strengthens faith. In this way, the trials experienced within a relationship become a means of spiritual elevation, guiding both individuals toward a deeper connection with their Creator. It is also important to understand that tests do not always lead to reunion. Sometimes their purpose is to prepare individuals for a different path that holds greater goodness. Even in such cases, the lessons learned through these challenges are never wasted. They shape character, deepen faith, and prepare the heart for future blessings. Whether the outcome is union or redirection, the wisdom behind every test remains a manifestation of Allah's mercy. When a love is truly destined by Allah, tests act as a refining fire, removing impurities and strengthening the bond. Just as gold becomes more valuable when purified, a relationship that endures trials emerges with greater depth, understanding, and resilience. The individuals involved gain a profound appreciation for one another and for the journey that brought them together. Now, furthermore, these tests teach the importance of tawakkul, or complete reliance on Allah. By surrendering their worries and fears to Him, individuals find peace even in uncertainty. They come to realize that Allah's timing is always perfect and that every delay carries hidden wisdom. This trust transforms anxiety into serenity and allows the heart to remain hopeful, regardless of the outcome. Every test experienced in a meaningful connection carries a purpose far greater than what is immediately visible. They purify intentions, strengthen faith, and prepare hearts for what Allah has written. If the love is destined to continue, these trials will serve as the very foundation upon which a lasting and blessed union is built. And if it is not meant to be, Allah will replace it with something far better, filled with peace and contentment. Therefore, when faced with challenges in a relationship, do not view them as signs of failure. Instead, see them as evidence of Allah's care and wisdom. Embrace these moments with patience and trust, knowing that every test is shaping your heart and guiding you toward your true destiny. Every test purifies and strengthens a love destined by Allah, transforming it into a bond that is resilient, meaningful, and blessed. Trust in His plan, for He is the best of planners, and His wisdom ensures that every trial ultimately leads to goodness, growth, and spiritual elevation. May Allah grant every sincere heart the strength to endure these tests and the blessing of a love that brings peace and draws them closer to Him. Tawakkul brings peace, while Allah perfects the timing. In the journey of life, then one of the most challenging experiences is waiting for something deeply desired. Whether it is the hope of being reunited with someone, the longing for clarity, or the anticipation of a blessed future, the uncertainty of timing can weigh heavily on the heart. During these moments, Islam offers a powerful source of comfort known as tawakkul, complete trust and reliance upon Allah. Tawakkul is not merely a concept. It is a state of the heart that brings profound peace while Allah perfects every detail of our destiny. Tawakkul means believing with certainty that Allah is fully aware of our desires, our struggles, and our silent prayers. It is the understanding that nothing in our lives unfolds randomly. Every event is part of a divine plan shaped by Allah's infinite wisdom and mercy. When a person places their trust in Allah, they release the burden of anxiety and surrender their worries to the One who controls all outcomes. This surrender does not signify weakness. Rather, it reflects deep faith and spiritual strength. Many people assume that trusting Allah means remaining passive, but true tawakkul is a balance between effort and reliance. A believer continues to make sincere dua, takes halal steps toward what they hope for, and strives to improve themselves, all while accepting that the final outcome rests in Allah's hands. This balance allows the heart to remain hopeful without becoming overwhelmed by fear or disappointment. It transforms waiting from a period of distress into an opportunity for spiritual growth and self-reflection. One of the most beautiful aspects of tawakkul is the sense of tranquility it brings. When you truly believe that Allah's timing is perfect, the constant questions of when and how begin to fade. The heart no longer feels pressured to control every situation. Instead, it finds comfort in knowing that what is meant to happen will occur at the exact moment it is most beneficial. This inner peace is a gift from Allah, reassuring the believer that they are never alone in their journey. Allah's timing is always precise and filled with wisdom. There are moments when delays may seem painful or confusing, but these delays often serve a greater purpose. Allah may be preparing both individuals for a future reunion, strengthening their faith, or protecting them from circumstances that are not yet suitable. What appears to be a delay is, in reality, a period of preparation, ensuring that when the destined moment arrives, it brings lasting happiness and stability. Tawakkul also teaches acceptance of whatever outcome Allah chooses. While we may hope for a specific result, true trust in Allah means believing that His decision will always be better than our own expectations. If the reunion we long for is written, it will happen with ease and blessing. And if it is not, Allah will replace it with something far greater, something that aligns perfectly with our faith, well-being, and ultimate happiness. This understanding frees the heart from attachment to a single outcome and allows it to embrace the beauty of Allah's wisdom. Furthermore, tawakkul strengthens the believer's relationship with Allah. During periods of waiting, individuals often turn to prayer and remembrance with greater sincerity. When these moments of closeness to Allah become a source of comfort and guidance, reinforcing the belief that every aspect of life is under His care. Through tawakkul, the heart learns to find peace not in the fulfillment of its desires, but in the certainty of Allah's mercy and love. It is also important to recognize that tawakkul transforms patience into a meaningful act of worship. Waiting is no longer seen as a passive state, but as an active expression of faith. Each moment of trust, each sincere dua, and each effort to remain hopeful becomes a means of earning spiritual reward. This perspective allows the believer to navigate uncertainty with dignity and resilience. In the end, tawakkul is a beautiful reminder that our lives are guided by the wisdom of the one who knows what is best for us. While we may not always understand the reasons behind delays or challenges, trusting in Allah assures us that every event is unfolding exactly as it should. The peace that comes from this trust is unmatched, providing comfort even in the midst of uncertainty. Therefore, if you find yourself waiting for someone or hoping for a particular outcome, embrace tawakkul with a sincere heart. Continue to make dua, take positive steps, and place your complete trust in Allah's perfect timing. Know that what is written for you is already on its way, and it will arrive at the moment that is most beneficial for your life and your faith. Tawakkul brings peace, while Allah perfects the timing. It transforms anxiety into serenity, uncertainty into hope, and longing into a journey of spiritual growth. Trust in His plan, for He is the best of planners, and His wisdom ensures that every delay carries within it a hidden mercy and a promise of something better. May Allah grant us hearts filled with trust, patience, and unwavering faith in His perfect timing. When Allah decrees a reunion, it happens at the most perfect moment. One of the most comforting truths in life is the understanding that Allah's timing is always perfect. When He decrees that two hearts are meant to reunite, That reunion will occur at the exact moment when it is most beneficial for both individuals. It will not happen too early, when they are unprepared, nor too late, when hope has faded. Instead, it will unfold with a beauty and precision that reflects Allah's infinite wisdom and mercy. Often, people wonder why meaningful connections experience delays, misunderstandings, or periods of separation, and these moments can create feelings of uncertainty and longing. However, from a spiritual perspective, such delays are not signs of neglect, but indications of divine preparation. Allah may be shaping both individuals, strengthening their faith, healing their emotional wounds, and guiding them toward personal growth, so that when they finally come together, their union is built on a strong and blessed foundation. When Allah decrees a reunion, it happens in a way that feels natural and effortless. Doors that once seemed firmly closed begin to open, and obstacles that once appeared insurmountable gradually fade away. Circumstances align in unexpected ways, creating a path that neither person could have planned on their own. This ease is a sign of divine facilitation, reminding both hearts that their meeting is not merely a result of chance, but a manifestation of Allah's perfect plan. Such a reunion is also accompanied by a deep sense of peace and clarity. Unlike relationships driven solely by emotion or urgency, a union ordained by Allah brings tranquility to the heart. There is no lingering confusion or doubt. Instead, both individuals feel a reassuring sense that everything has fallen into place exactly as it was meant to. This inner peace is one of the most beautiful signs that the timing of the reunion is divinely guided. It is important to understand that Allah's decree is always rooted in what is best for His servants. If two people are meant to be together, nothing in this world can prevent their paths from crossing again. Time, distance, or the opinions of others cannot stand in the way of what Allah has written. Conversely, if a reunion does not occur, it is not a loss but a manifestation of Allah's mercy, guiding each person towards something better suited for their faith and well-being. In every outcome, there is wisdom and goodness, even if it is not immediately apparent. This belief encourages the heart to embrace patience and trust. Instead of trying to force outcomes or rushing events, a believer learns to surrender their hopes and fears to Allah. Through sincere dua and unwavering tawakkul, the waiting period becomes a time of spiritual growth and preparation. Each moment of patience strengthens faith and deepens the understanding that Allah's plan is far more perfect than anything we could design for ourselves. Moreover, when Allah decrees a reunion, it often carries immense barakah, divine blessings, when the relationship is not only a source of emotional fulfillment, but also a means of spiritual elevation. Both individuals support one another in righteousness, encouraging each other to grow closer to Allah and to live lives filled with compassion, respect, and purpose. This type of union transcends worldly attachment, becoming a partnership that nurtures both the heart and the soul. It is also essential to recognize that the beauty of such a reunion lies not only in the moment itself, but in the journey that leads to it. The periods of waiting, the lessons learned, and the personal growth experienced along the way all contribute to the strength and depth of the connection. When the reunion finally occurs, it is appreciated with a sense of gratitude and humility, as both individuals recognize the wisdom behind every delay and every challenge they faced. Therefore, if you find yourself hoping for a reunion with someone, place your trust in Allah's perfect timing. Continue to make sincere dua, nurture pure intentions, and focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Know that if this reunion is written for you, it will arrive at the most perfect moment, bringing with it peace, clarity, and lasting blessings. And if it is not meant to be, Allah will replace it with something far greater, filling your life with tranquility and contentment. The heart finds true serenity in surrendering to Allah's divine decree. When Allah decrees a reunion, it happens at the most perfect moment, neither early nor late, but exactly when it is meant to be. Trust in His wisdom, for He is the best of planners, and every decision He makes is filled with mercy, love, and infinite goodness. May Allah grant every sincere heart a reunion that brings peace, strengthens faith, and leads to everlasting happiness. Ameen. As we come to the end of this reflection, remember that nothing in your life happens by coincidence. Every connection, every emotion, every moment of waiting is part of a story written by Allah with perfect wisdom and mercy. If someone remains in your heart despite time and distance, it is not without purpose. Perhaps somewhere in the quiet of the night, they are whispering your name in their du'as, hoping that Allah will reunite your hearts in a way that is pure and blessed. Trust that Allah sees what you cannot see. He understands the depth of your feelings, the sincerity of your intentions, and the silent prayers that rise from your heart. When Allah writes a love for you, no distance can erase it, no obstacle can prevent it, and no delay can diminish it. And if that person is not meant to be part of your journey, Allah, in His infinite mercy, will replace that longing with something far greater, something that brings true peace, stability, and barakah into your life. Sometimes the waiting feels heavy, and the uncertainty tests your patience. Yet, within that waiting lies a beautiful transformation. Allah is preparing your heart, strengthening your faith, and guiding you toward what is truly best for you. Every delay carries hidden wisdom, and every unanswered question is gently leading you toward a destiny filled with goodness. So, place your trust in Allah's perfect plan. Release your worries, surrender your fears, and find comfort in knowing that what is written for you will never miss you. If a reunion is part of your destiny, it will arrive at the most perfect moment, bringing with it clarity, tranquility, and lasting blessings. And if it is not, Allah will open doors you never imagined, granting you something even more beautiful than what you once hoped for. Let your heart rest in the certainty that Allah is the best of planners. His decisions are never without mercy, and His timing is always flawless. What is meant for you is already on its way, guided by His infinite love and wisdom. If this message touched your heart, take a moment to make a sincere dua, asking Allah to grant you what is best for your faith, your life, and your future. Write Ameen in the comments as a sign of your trust in Allah's plan, and share this reminder with someone who may need hope today. May Allah fill your heart with peace, guide your steps with wisdom, and bless you with a love that brings you closer to Him and leads you to everlasting happiness. Ameen.